Somewhat, yeah. Ready? All right, we'll call to order this Pleasant View City Council meeting this Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. It's 6:09. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, opening prayer, reading or expression of thought by Council Member Steve Gibson. The audience please rise and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're indeed thankful that we have this opportunity to live in Pleasant View and to have such great blessings and peace here. We ask thee as we make decisions today that we'll be make conscious decisions for the good of the community. We're thankful for our first responders, for the police and for our public works and the fire department. Please be with them as they go towards danger to protect us in our homes, that we can enjoy the blessings that Pleasant View do offer us. You can help us make good decisions tonight, and all those in attendance that they can be make it safely home. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Sorry for the late start. We had a trial that lasted right till the hour, so it takes just a minute to get set up. We are time sensitive today, so I'll be reading things pretty quick here because it is an election day and the polls close, and we have responsibilities, our recorder, to close the polls and get the ballots and to be counted by the county. So we'll start with 1B, declaration of conflict of interest. Have you read the agenda? Is there any conflicts to declare? No. See none, move to 1C, public comments, questions for the mayor, council. Limit to 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yep, state your name.
Hi, Dale Roberts. Just a quick comment brought to my attention that the mayor and the city council have determined that it's okay to not follow their own rules, codes, and when it relates to the item number 5, the development up in the above the hill, because we want to feel good about it. You know, if we have rules and regulations in place, it's your job to follow them and enforce them, and to not allow someone not to put a sidewalk on the other side of the street because they just don't want to spend the money. It's too expensive, won't put enough money in their pocket. It's not okay. You're elected to enforce the statutes and the code of the city. I encourage you to do that as you consider the item number 5. Thank you.
And just for everybody's, item 5 is the development agreement. The only thing that's being considered tonight is section 1.2 roadways. Basically to determine if we want a 60-foot or 66 roadway based on the motion. The agreement passed last meeting with a caveat that it would come back for a possible amendment if the amount exceeded 50,000, I believe. So that's why it's back here. That's what item 5 about. The development agreement has already passed. It's just to consider, do we want a 60-foot or 66-foot? Anybody else?
So my name is Brad Jones, 540 West, 4300 North. And this is about item 5 as well. And I was not at the last meeting, so to hear that it had passed or whatever the wording is. And I sent an email out to everybody yesterday. I don't know if you got it. I don't know if it's appropriate to read. So I guess what I'm asking is there a possibility of an amendment to that? For the legal access with utilities that I had talked about in that email. Everybody got the email though?
Yeah.
Okay, I sent it to some of the staff. I don't know who got it or who didn't, and if you, okay, perfect. I can't ask if there's any questions, I guess, on it at this point, but I guess asking for an amendment for it, just to, there's not a map of it, but I'm in the middle of, I'm on a 5 acre piece. It was on 5 acres and now it's 2 acres all around me, and this will potentially landlock the top part of my land. So just trying to do what's right and fair for the little guy, for the property owner next to this development. And I think you all know how to get a hold of me if my information's on that email, but happy to discuss it with you further. I did mention in there that the developer and I had talked about 150-foot frontage to this new road and doing a land swap. The land swap, the more I looked at it, the more it just doesn't work for, it takes away from the top part of our property and really messes up what we could possibly do in the future. So I did include the developer on that email, so he should have gotten that as well. I'm not trying to hide anything, pull any punches. Just trying to protect the future of my property where to the west of me, this was done from the same developer 20-ish years ago. And now it's happening to the east of me, and it's just, yeah, trying to stick up for myself. When decisions are made, a lot of times I know we say, oh, may not affect everybody later on, but 20 years ago, that is having an impact of what happened to the west of me. So, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to item 2, consent agenda. Minutes of July 8th, 2025, both open and closed, July 10th, 2025, July 22nd, open and closed. And we're gonna forego the bills that were submitted in the packets, the wrong bills, so we'll do them again next time, so.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve consent item A, table B.
I'll second the motion. Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Marriott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, all voting aye. Item 3, home occupation exception request. Discussion on possible action to grant an exception to the home occupancy conditions to allow a business to use the residence of which they don't reside for teaching piano lessons at 3040 North, 1000 West. The requester is Christina Pope. Laurie.
Well, she is here.
Okay.
She teaches piano, but her parents live in Pleasant View, and she would like to teach piano at her parents' home and grant that
And that's the
exception.
only, you can
Yeah.
come up here, but just one question, I assume, well, for me, there might be other questions. I assume you're, it's not like group lessons, it's a one-on-one type thing where you're
Yeah,
wanting
it's
to
just gonna
increase
be,
in parked cars and that kind of
Mhm,
stuff.
yeah.
Just
exactly. So they'll just be coming like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, feel no more than like 20 students or so. So,
Anybody else have any questions?
I just have a comment on it. I've lived across the street from Christina and her family for 20 years, and they're 75-foot setback. They have a circle driveway, and I don't have any concerns. In fact, she's taught lessons there before she wasn't a resident. So
Okay. All righty.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the home occupation exception for the address of 3040 North and 1000 West.
Second that motion.
A motion by Marriott, second by Gibson for their discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, all voting aye.
Thank you for that. That's a
Thank you.
great, a great occupation. Teach those kids or adults, wherever it is.
mhm, yep,
Congratulations on your degree in piano.
thank you.
Thank you. Item 4, planning commission recommendations. 4A is general plan amendment. Consider a general plan amendment to modify the future land use map and the designation of approximately 0.17 acre portion of 6.31 acres of land located at approximately 475 West Pleasant View Drive from agricultural A2 to medium and low density residential. Weaver County parcel 17-060-0053, ordinance 2025-18. Applicant is Jeff Lee Investment. And assume you're presenting.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrea.
Okay, so item A and B are relate to each other. If you recall back in May, the applicant came in to get a general plan amendment and a rezone for the property. There was a little issue with the legal description, so this is just including that 0.17 acres that wasn't included in the original application.
So it's just rectifying.
And
Yep.
what was the planning commission recommendation?
To approve.
Okay. I mean, I knew that. I just
Um,
thought
they-
I'd have
oh,
you
yeah.
stated on the
Nope.
record.
Yes.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the general plan amendment. Weaver County parcel 17-060-0053, according to ordinance 2025-18.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion by Yuri,
I
second
just, yeah. go
by
ahead.
Arrington, discussion?
Yeah, so, yeah, it's not the rezone, but, wait, is that your saying?
It's not the rezone, yet, it's just the general plan.
Okay. Yeah, my just question was about, the density, because the LSFR, but it's not the rezone, but it's 4 to 8 acre, 4 to 8, but I don't think that's accurate on
It's
the,
actually 4 to 6 in the LSFR.
so I just make sure it's not more than 4 at this point, but I don't know that that needs to be addressed right now in the general plan.
Maybe in the rezone section.
I think in the LSFR though, it allows up to 6 units
Up
per
to 8.
acre. At least that's how we wrote it, but if you want to amend or the zone.
The general plan here.
Well, this is the motion is to amend the general plan. But the rezone, if you're going to allow the LSFR, it does allow up to 6 units per acre.
Right, so this is the general plan amendment
Mhm.
and then the rezone. They still have to go through subdivision process, so it would be checked and verified that they were not doing higher density than is allowed in that zone.
Okay.
Yeah, this wasn't approving lots, just zoning and general plan amendment at this point.
All right. I assume since this is an ordinance, roll call vote. Arrington,
Yes.
Gibson.
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
motion approved, all voting yes. 4B, it's a public hearing for rezone. Consider rezone for approximately 0.17 acre portion of 6.3 acres of land located at approximately 475 West Portland Drive from A2 to LSFR. Weaver County parcel 70-060-0053, ordinance 2025-19, applicant Jeff Lee Investment, presenter Tammy, which will be Andrea tonight.
Yeah, so same property. This is just to rezone that 0.17 acre
Yeah,
portion.
let's go into public hearings
Okay,
first. and then
Make a
I'll-
motion, we go into a public hearing.
Second. Oh, second by, you know.
Okay, motion by Arrington, second by Nelson, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We're in the now go ahead.
Okay, so to rezone it to the LSFR, that also went through planning commission with a recommendation to approve.
And their recommendation was, do it. Okay. This, I don't know if you remember, when you came in, when we approved the lower part and they wanted to include the upper part, that last parcel, that 0.17 acres, we unfortunately had to go back through the whole process. Mentioned that it would be appropriate to run them simultaneous. That's why they're both general plan and the possible rezone here. So any members of the public wish to address?
I can make a motion that we go to a public hearing.
Motion by Gibson, second by Arrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I did.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve 4B as stated in ordinance 2025-19.
I'll second.
Motion by Gibson, second by Arrington. Further discussion? This again will be a roll call vote. Arrington,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Yuri.
Yes.
Motion carries, all voting yes. Item 4C is a rezone public hearing. Consider a rezone for approximately 0.29 acres of land located at 624 West Fox Meadow Drive from CP1 to LSFR. Weaver County parcel 17-418-0021, ordinance 2025-20. Applicant Paul Pitcher, presenter will be Andrea. I entertain a motion to go into a public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Go ahead.
Motion by you, second by Marriott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Hey, Andrea.
Okay, so this is for a rezone of approximately 2.29 acres from the CP1 zone to the LSFR zone. On May 27, 2025, the city council approved the general plan amendment to adjust it to this zone. The planning commission heard the rezone on July 10th. They they discussed it, they had mixed feelings on it. However, they motioned to move forward with the rezone, at a 5-1 vote. They did have one concern of whether or not a home would fit onto that lot. So if in your packet you look, Tammy kind of played with GeoGizmo. It's not 100% accurate, but if someone is creative, can fit a home on that lot.
Yeah, and it'd be up to them to.
Yes, yeah, and you know, the city would also verify that a building
Right.
permit when they come in to make guarantee that they meet those setbacks.
Does everybody know where this piece is?
Yeah, is it just this, what would be the concern, just the setbacks
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and, because there's plenty of frontage and there's plenty of size of property, right?
It's
So.
just an
That'd be
application.
smaller.
Yeah.
Their issue is
With the
because they had
plate.
already recommended that you guys deny the general plan amendment and then you went ahead with it, that they still felt like they didn't want it. Now it complied with the general plan, so they voted to approve it.
In looking at it into, and so does the frontage have to be against the road that goes in, or can it be turned at all to, you know, I guess it could come in a side. It's
Yeah.
irrelevant, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's pretty
It could
much,
be a side.
pretty much what you see is probably.
It's
what-
mostly frontage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, cause that
It
was one
really
of the
goes
concerns
narrow.
too.
And again, it's just the north part of that road.
Yeah,
So south is staying commercial.
Yes.
It's owned by two different owners anyway, so.
Okay. Well, any members of the public wish to address this? Seeing none,
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
I'll second the motion.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Anybody have a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this rezone for that piece of property, as stated in ordinance 2025-20.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Gibson, second by Marriott. This again will be a roll call vote. Arrington,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Yuri.
Yes.
Motion passes, all voting yes. Thank you.
Just keep those weeds down there, Paul. Victor.
Item 5, Development Agreement Amendment. Discussion on possible action to consider amending section 1.2 roadways B1 and B2 of the development agreement with Valpol for the Christopherson Ranch subdivision located at approximately 540 west, 4300 north. Again, this is pretty specific. It was passed at our last meeting with the caveat and basically the discussion. So the discussion comes back, do we want a 60-foot road? The cost is slightly, for the 66 road, that cost the city about just over $100,000.
Did you get an estimate today from Dana, or?
Dana didn't want to weigh in on land values.
What would this, what are the costs, I guess, and so that includes, does that include
That's
the
the
road
road,
right
the-
away or just the road
The road
itself?
right away and the pavement.
Kristen, did you have a chance to do any calculations?
So that's where, once you set that right away, you're looking at the general plan and the road master plan that were adopted via the public. You have a process. I think those were both example appraisals and.
They
so-
are, and we really won't know until, but I'm just saying it's gonna be over $100,000. When he puts the asphalt in, which may be this year, might be next year, probably, I'm guessing next year, but when he puts the asphalt in, it'll be whatever the current cost of the asphalt is, what the city will pay. I don't anticipate it going up a lot, but it's still, I mean, yeah, the real decision is, do you want to spend money to put 66-foot road in, or do you want to go to 60-foot?
Well,
That's
so
all.
where did the estimate come from then?
Like, from the developer.
So I think at least, you know, to make an educated decision, we would need an appraisal done, because we're just getting one estimation from the developer, and if we can't have some objectivity, how do you make an educated decision?
Well, here's the problem, okay, with what you just said.
Okay.
That's what I just said a minute ago.
Okay.
It's going to change. So we're guessing it's going to be just over $100,000. Again, that's a pure guess, but you want to make the decision 6 months, 8 months from now when he decides to put the road in, or, I mean,
So
because,
go out to an appraisal now of get an estimation, and, you know, because, again, that's why we ask for bids, right? We don't just go,
have an
we have
estimation.
one by the developer, and so we need to.
We're not voting to pay that amount to put the road in. We're
Okay.
voting to say, hey, it's gonna cost the city about $100,000. You wanna spend about $100,000. It may go up 20,000, may go down $20,000. But do you want to put a road in, 66-foot road in? That's,
So
Or
I mean,
60 foot.
and again, I want to be able to, take this, to what it's worth here, but I think the discussion we need to make, and the discussion we made 2 weeks ago, is this a collector road? Or is this a regular road? Because a 60-foot road is a regular road. And I've driven around through several subdivisions and looked at the different roads. And I would much rather spend that 100,000, whatever that is.
yeah.
And I bet you it's probably gonna be 150,000. I mean, really, when you,
Well,
whatever
don't
the
know what
number
the
is.
market's gonna do, yeah.
I don't think this will be. The 13 homes are there and the ones that come through that 40, is it 4,400? That road is no bigger. That's a 60-foot road and 4,400 coming down. I just don't think it's going to be, I don't think it ever will be a collector road. That's bringing a bunch of stuff in, 4,300, it definitely is a collector road. 500 coming down the hill is a collector road, 900, 1,100, those are all collector roads that funnel stuff down.
Mhm.
And I don't feel, I would much rather spend that, whatever that dollar amount is, I'd rather put curb and gutter on 400, and I know these are different funds, but we can play with that a little bit. We have other places that we could spend that other than just buying that. And I don't think it's anything it's not saving the developer anything. And
It
this
doesn't save him anything.
it's just, it depends on if it's a
It
collector.
saves the city.
Saves the city.
Not
It's a
him.
collector
Not one
road.
penny.
It's on the general plan, it was put in there as a collector. I don't feel that it is.
Jason, what is our standard for our roads,
Which one?
for that road? For a minor arterial road, which that has been designated on our master roads plan, what is the standard?
That's the 66-foot.
And that's the standard that we've adopted
general
through paying plans, and we adopted public hearings, and the public agreed to that to make a less of amount of impact in the long run, because we can say it will never be, but we have tons of examples all over the city of never be's that we end up having to put in sidewalk, finish roads when we don't do it right first time. So if we adopted a roads plan that said 66-foot road width, I think that we should go with what we did with public hearings and adopted that as our standard, instead of saying, my opinion, instead of saying it will never be and we don't see. The city always partners with developers, always, for every single subdivision, and we always pay our portion and so.
Yeah, sometimes with grants, Weaver County, that's how we've done most of Rulon, Parkland, those are all widening because the development didn't require the 100-foot road out there. So the cities, it's normal process for us to increase roadway.
Short-sighted, and we're not, one of our biggest costs is maintenance of roads and asphalt and maintaining all those, and I don't think that we can do that. We have the tools to make the educated decision. That's what we've adopted the master roads for, so, and standards that we make all developers go by.
Well, we talked about acquiring the right of way, but not necessarily putting in the asphalt costs.
Right, we just acquire the right of
Well,
way.
after we talked to the developer and staff and amongst ourselves, we decided we'd probably end up paying double or triple the amount when and if it ever got put in.
Double or triple the amount for the road costs?
Yeah,
Why?
because you'll have to tear out,
The existing
yeah.
gutter and.
It's just
Later,
like,
or later.
If you're gonna widen Alberta Drive, if it would have been put in 50 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're
So,
doing
I
that
mean,
at
I'm
the
just
time,
saying.
it's because you're putting in enough development north of it to justify expanding the road.
Right.
So that's, I mean,
Yes, and even that, you have a process later on that you can deal with. So if not the difficult part being outside is with the right of way. So once that's established, those
Well,
decisions
my
could be
recommendation
made.
is
later.
quickly, just figure out, let's either put 66 and build it or do 60 and build it, but let's don't halfway kick the can down the road. Let's either do it or don't do it. It's a financial decision and so,
it has adequate, at 60-foot, it would still have adequate utility easement and all that, right? It's just the width of the road that we're talking about.
So I've got a question. So if we do the 60-foot road, do we still have like the right of way of 6 feet, not to extend the road, but let's say we want to do like a bike path up there or something like that, or let's say we want to do a sidewalk later or something. Do we have that already?
And the remainder of your 60-foot,
Do we already own the other 6 feet?
Yeah, the road width would be 32.
yeah, so I mean, you'd have, there's just utilities and other things happening in them, so that's usually where your wider right-of-way requests come from if you're starting to put those other amenities
So we
in.
would have wider right of way.
I'm not saying it's not possible, it wouldn't be the norm.
Well, sorry, so do we own that right away now already?
Still,
No.
you would,
We would have to purchase.
no, you still have a right of way to put a sidewalk. If you wanted to put sidewalk past the
Let's say we do the 60-foot road.
No, what's the open space, right? Because that's the only place that doesn't have sidewalk. But if we wanted to put it there, it could go there because we still have the right of way beyond the width of the road.
So in that scenario, yes. Yes.
But we would have to pay 100% of our portion, correct? Instead, well, the whole thing, instead of the developer partnering with us.
If you were doing it in that scenario down the road, yes, you'd be doing it as the city.
But to Dave's point from last time, we only have 2 homes or 3.
For now,
Three
but
homes
it's
at the
not,
bottom.
it's not gonna have a conservation easement or anything. It's not gonna be dedicated on the title. That's not in the development agreement. So will not stay undeveloped forever and ever. So they can develop it later on if they want to.
I think it is.
No, it's dedicated open
Is it
space.
dedicated?
Yes, it will be recorded with the county as perpetual
So-
open space.
Excuse me, Mayor.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Phil, I didn't mean to cut you off. So a 32-foot asphalt chunk, is that including the gutter or is that
Just road?
just road?
Yeah, so you have an asphalt width that's usually
30
curb to curb, and then
So
you have your
that's
remainders.
32 feet. Because I think that's the big deal, because I mean, we have, then we have 60 feet, so we have 15 feet on each side, well, roughly that, on each side of the road that we're going to have an easement for the sidewalk, for all those different things, for the,
But right.
for
now,
the,
we need to partner to pay a lesser portion.
but
And
I
that's
just.
the standard we have. Why would you?
I
think
just,
it's the
I
standard?
mean, so Parkland, I mean, I'm thinking of the different roads, I wish that whoever did Alberta, because that's a major.
That was
collector.
before our standards.
That's before our standards.
That's
I just don't,
For a city.
Parkland, Rule and White. It's a common sense thing because we need it for those types of things. I can't see and I wish we could almost have it a little bit wider at the bottom where it comes down past those 3 houses.
From
But-
4,400 south.
But 4,400 going south, that could make sense to me, but going past our wetland area or the open space area, I can't see that, 32, or would it be 38 if it's 66 foot right away? Would it be, what would the width be on a road, on the actual asphalt, not the right of way, but the asphalt?
I'd have to pull
Why-
the standards up.
Why don't we just? go
I
by
wasn't
some standards?
thinking we were doing that part of it.
Subdivision, we partner with the developer.
No, but that's not, I mean, the whole point of a development agreement is to go outside the standards, otherwise you don't. Well, that's the
Why-
question.
I wasn't here, and if I would have been here, I would have voted no.
Let me answer fully.
Yeah.
So to the gentleman's comment that came up, we're going against the city code, our city code incorporates development agreements, 35 different sections of our code.
Yeah.
So are we only talking about that doesn't talk about development agreements, or if we're using our code, development agreements are a major part of our code? We wouldn't have that if there wasn't a purpose for
You're
that.
right, the development
So,
agreement should
let me
be
finish.
guided by
Let me
standards.
finish.
Well, the whole point of them is to establish the standards for that development. Otherwise, they wouldn't exist. We would just say the standards are there and we do it. And so that's the entire function of a development agreement. So what we're here tonight, I think, to debate is if we put it to a vote and the Pleasant View taxpayers said, okay, yep, we want $100,000 extra for 6-foot wider road or not. And I know 9 people would say yes. I know that for sure. I don't know if the rest of the city would say yes. And whether it's short-sighted or not, that's a good question. I mean, we should look at what possible development could happen north of there that could lead to traffic.
But we don't even have an actual cost, that's just a number that we're throwing.
Yeah, but tonight we're not voting on cost, right? We're
Well,
voting on
that's
whether we might
my
go
decision though.
forward.
Yeah.
But anyways.
At what point do we need to make the decision on you know, where the cost is, if we're gonna do it or not. Like, we kind of set down, like, if it was 50,000, we would consider it. If it was above that, we would kind of like, but at what point do we need to tell the developer, yes, we're doing it, or no, we're not? Tonight?
Right.
Yeah,
I don't think you can do a development plan without
knowing.
knowing that.
Okay, so it's not like we can wait until they're doing the road and saying, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you're right, the work will likely not get done this year, but
And it might go down.
Yeah, they can't
Less
do it.
Less interest rates go down and building starts happening again, but
And they can't do a design without knowing what that right of way width is, so
Okay.
that's how you would get all of those knowns and.
I get what Phil is saying, absolutely, development agreements are perfectly legal, legislatively, you guys can make, we can all make whatever decision, I guess, then why do we adopt standards and ordinances to guide them?
so we don't have to do a development agreement and everything. Again, you missed last meeting, but
I
in the
know.
meeting, we included in a key part that I felt was missing, that everybody seems to be missing out on. And you missed it, so just
I
kind of,
watched
I'll
these.
just restate it. We added into the recitals basically of the development agreement that this is not just a development agreement, it's also, okay, to address the taking issue. Okay, exaction versus taking and the proportional use, and that's why we're even doing a development agreement. Back to the history, I don't know, you know the history, but the petitioner came in with an A5 subdivision with 4,400 connected up to 4,575 and no 500 west, 5-acre lots. Okay, that's what he came in with. Staff recommended that we really needed that road, and in order to do that, the attorney said that would be a taking, so you'd either have to pay for the entire 500 west road, which would have been considerably more, or come up with a compromise. Everything we've been talking about, everything we've been working on, and everything is a compromise to get a road 500 west. Now it comes down to that road. Do we want a 66-foot road or a 60-foot road?
Which is minor collector versus major collector.
Now,
And every other subdivision is minor collector.
and I looked at the property above this roadway, and I just do not see the potential for traffic, but it's,
It's gonna connect North Ogden and stuff, and what if
No,
they want?
not
a
up
side
there.
yard? 4575, is that the road we're talking about?
it's not gonna connect.
Why not? We
Why?
didn't ever think that this was gonna be anything smaller than A5, people do.
Because
subdivide and
there happens to be a
develop.
great big tank and water.
Yeah,
supply at the end of that road.
they can't put a road.
Can't put a road.
What about people coming from the west? Or what about, when we master plan
Well,
the
I-
entire hillside, there's gonna be 300+ homes up there.
All out the west. Why would they cut through that subdivision?
Because there's only one way out the other way.
Was it 900?
No,
900.
900, 1100,
Skyline
Skyline Drive.
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
very.
whatever.
short-sighted.
Yeah,
That's just my thought.
it comes down to dollars. Laurie and Tyson found money. There's money there to do it. It's just philosophical, do you want to spend that roughly $100,000 up on the hillside? Or do you want to spend it somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't believe that it will be used. I mean, just the likelihood of ever developing significantly above there is really low. It's already zoned and subdivided into A5s across that whole street, except for that one little portion.
Actually, well,
Yeah, and then you hit a mountain.
Well, you
but they
run,
can rezone it A2, just.
you run in full patch.
Just can too, so. Anyway, I think that, I know what you guys think, and everybody can have their own opinion, I suppose,
Sure.
but I think it's short-sighted to do that. When roads are one of the most expensive things that we pay for.
That's kind of one of the points though, too, Sarah, like if we're putting in additional 6 feet of road, we gotta maintain an additional 6 feet of road. Like if that's where our expense comes in, is just the ongoing costs of it too.
But there's, there's not room for bike lanes, there's not room for walking, right?
And that's where the argument
And all of those.
for the
things,
right
so-
of way comes in, and then you do your cost savings up front by the narrower. So if it takes 20 years for zoning changes, just due west of this, we changed the one from 30 units to 300. So that's where it kind of gets in, you're trying to read a crystal ball that isn't there
Yeah.
and do it diligently enough to protect public funds and account for the future that you don't know what's gonna happen, cause those changes are
Steve?
there.
We are having sidewalks
Yeah.
up
Yes.
the east side, sidewalks, so safety for
On the
that.
lower
We-
west where it's
And the,
not
on the,
open
on the
space.
lower west, sidewalks will happen with the exception of along the wetland, which we want to be able to push the snow off, let it go into the, I mean, all these things we've discussed before. That is, you know, that snow and things from the road will go in and there's gonna be some drains that go into that wetland area, and I just don't think we need a sidewalk up that side. Who's gonna maintain the
They'll
sidewalk?
look like 2,700.
Yeah, so it just,
We'll go out and do the best
I
we
just
can.
can't see, I mean, the standard, yes, Sarah, I mean, whatever, you can say that all the time. But Phil,
Why do we have them then?
Phil says it
Follow.
because we
For
are,
99% of the developments that aren't special.
This is
we
not a
are
special
thinking of
It's the
money.
void taking. What part of that are you struggling to understand now, or you just wish to dismiss it?
See, that is documentation, we weren't in those conversations with you. We have no idea what was going on, and
I
I
just-
believe you.
oh,
I
anyway.
think This is ridiculous.
Mayor,
Okay.
I'm,
Will you state that again? I want to make sure I understand exactly what you're
All
trying.
we have is what you're telling us, we have.
You're saying you don't believe me.
no
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
documentation whatsoever on the taking, the process, nothing, all
Yeah,
I've
we
ever
did. You
been
called the
told by
ombudsman.
the applicant is this doesn't pencil, this is gonna cost me too much money. That's all he's ever said to me.
No, he can't. Let
That's
me
what he said to me.
restate it for you since you seem to be having problems with it. Okay? The petitioner, Val Paul, came to the city with a A5 subdivision with the road connecting 4,400 to 4,575. Okay, the city went to the attorney, okay, because the staff said we want 500 west in.
Yes,
Okay, you with me so far?
I'm,
Okay, so the city said, let's do a 2 so we can get the road put in.
and during that meeting, you can go back and look at the minutes, and I said to the standard, and everybody said yes to the standard. We didn't vote on that, we didn't have a development agreement, but the implication was we would have the road according to our,
Okay, I'll go back and look at the meeting, but
Okay.
I don't know what the standard is.
you don't know what our road standards are?
Well, we
for
don't-
minor arterial?
We don't, like with the
We do.
development agreement.
No.
But I'm
The
just saying.
Meeting was proposed, the original proposal was to put in a rural road. That was the original proposal.
Not when we rezoned the property. We rezoned it to A2 because the justification was we needed the.
Anybody? Go ahead, Steve. I apologize to the audience.
you're fine, Mayor, and I appreciate that, and I think it's just, it's fair, it's what I would want to be able to work with the partnership here, Mayor. So I am going to make a motion that we, so I mean, the development agreement's already there, this was Ann's, motion, so maybe I should I don't know.
Yeah, so my motion was, if we could afford the right of way with if it was under $50,000, that we would consider doing that,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be under $50,000.
I mean, I'll make the motion, or do you want to amend your original motion or make a new motion there for that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it requires a new motion.
Okay,
for
so-
amendment.
I'll make the motion that we, as part of this development agreement, we have a 60-foot right-of-way with a 32-foot asphalt road, which is what we're gonna get, and we'll still have enough easement for utilities and all those different things that we want. We may not have a bike lane there. I just don't think that part of the area is gonna need a bike lane. We need that money for other places in the city. And it goes back to what Phil said, people just don't want this developed. And if this was any other place, they were trying to get something, where we give a little and we have a win-win situation, it wouldn't be such a big deal. So anyway, I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion. We're still in the public hearing too.
Oh, sorry.
Any members of the public wish to address this? All right, I thought we closed it.
There wasn't a public hearing.
This is
No,
not a
that's not a
public
public
hearing.
hearing.
Oh,
Yeah. I was
Are we
gonna say,
sure?
it's, Okay. Okay, we have a motion by
I'm sorry,
Gibney, second
yeah.
by Marion.
Yeah,
Further
sorry, I thought we
discussion?
had a public hearing.
By what I said, I do want to ask, like, clarifying questions, because I don't want to do this too quickly. So this would eliminate the ability for us to do things like a bike lane going up there
It wouldn't eliminate it, but
Well-
it would just be,
to Tyson. I'm wondering,
Tyson, would it?
like,
It would just reduces all of your options. So that's part of what the wider right of ways are, is it also gives you options. So like even the 100 foot doesn't have there's multiple layouts that you can do. It just gives the city alternatives that they could look at.
that's what I'm wondering, is what does this end up being? If we vote for a 60 foot, what does this end up looking like? Does that come through as part of the development plan, and then the developer decides whether a bike lane goes in, or who makes that? decision?
What's that into the development process, Andrea?
No, I could jump in.
License?
If it's,
Go ahead.
Well,
if it's just the 60 foot standard, like anything you're doing with outside of your residential road would just be out of the norm. And that's just something we'd have to look into. So if you were gonna jump up behind the curb and to look at methods to deal with it there, but out in your travel lanes, like, there wouldn't be room for it.
And my
But that's
reason
where
is
there's parking, or you
Bonneville
would shut
Shoreline is a
parking
major
down.
part of our city, right? And so what other access points besides weaving through the neighborhood, and people come up there all the time, get to the dead end, turn around? Like, what would be the major access point to Bonneville Shoreline? Not this.
No, there's no, it's private property
There's
right
no-
now. They
there's no
couldn't,
access now.
there's no access to the.
But
bo-
if- But from this,
Cottonwood
if it
Drive.
went up, then they could connect. I mean,
If-
it goes, I know
Go
it goes
west.
through.
It'd have to go west to Cottonwood to get to there.
So would,
79.
So that's the intent, is it meets up with 4575,
right
and
now, that's.
it might be
So-
5 or 10 years. But if anybody or the city decides, cause they're pushing for trailhead access and the city determines they wanna punch through, it gives you the tools to do that. So. But that is part of the idea that goes into those.
I know when we talked about it last time, I brought up the comment, it's likely not gonna be parked on this street, because there's plenty of room to drive on this street and to ride a bike on the street if there's no cars parked on it.
So yeah, you look
It's-
into no parking options that just gets into additional
There's-
maintenance like everything.
3/4 of that street, above the 3 lots on the west, will not have any residential parking. There is one lot at the top, but it's nearly a 5 acre lot.
Yeah.
It will likely have huge setbacks. It will likely have major driveways and parking for any public parking or private parking. So in my mind, you're never gonna have cars parked on this street. It likely will not have. You might have some, right, at times, but not constant by any means. And if you go compare that to any of our other 60 foot roads, which are all through the city, there's cars parked on those multiple times. We're still passing them and we're riding on them. So is it a collector? Right now, it's not, and it's likely not going to be. That's my thought.
I think, I guess, just weighing in one more time, like I feel like agreed, I feel like those bike trails up top we will want to access those. But to the tune of $100,000, is that, fiscally responsible? When, I mean, I ride a bike and I ride it a lot of times without a bike lane, but, yeah, I just don't want to be, it's tough because I don't want to be short-sighted, but also like, is there a possibility to get another quote, or why would Dana not give us a quote on that? Is that a solid number? 100,000?
So the engineer wouldn't do.
That's a
appraisals.
minimum quote, I think.
I would love to do another quote. I think that.
What,
would be
Tyson?
where-
The engineer doesn't do appraisals, so you'd have to hire it. So that's where it's in the
majority of the
process,
cost
you
is
have
the-
a.
It's the asphalt though.
Okay,
you would
they kind of
reach
know
out
what that
for
runs, they know what
appraisal.
that price runs, yeah,
For
okay.
process purposes, like, is that something we've ever done? Do we go out at this stage ever
This is
and
kind
get
of all
private appraisal?
This way. So.
Yeah, that's,
Say on the one hand.
that's how you would deal
Yeah.
with those right-of-way expansions, is come up with that. That's usually done by appraisals. So we're
Have we-
usually following WACOG's process for it. because that's where our grant money and the ones we've been doing, and so that's
But
where
this is
those.
not WACOG.
No.
Yeah.
WACOG is state money required to keep the
Yeah.
appraisal, but that's when I was told that this doesn't require one, but I think best practices, it would be a good idea.
Yeah, we went off a prior appraisal and a market, so it's anywhere from was it 275 to
225.
225 to 550.
Well, I think bottom line for me, I could, if I were to address a resident and they ask me, why did you approve it? That's $100,000 for the city. I'd have a hard time justifying that. But if they said to me, you went with a minor collector subdivision, I feel like I can answer to that more than I can answer to it's $100,000. So, but we know what market value is, so we know at least we know it's gonna be over 50,000.
We won't know again until he's ready to do asphalt. We're just taking best guess.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that our engineer that we hire wouldn't give us a ballpark estimate on that. I mean,
She
that's,
could give you an estimate on the improvements, but she's not an appraiser, so she would not give the land value.
So we
So-
contacted an appraisal and their appraisal was.
It wasn't an appraisal, it was an agent, yeah.
And
Yeah.
what was the
Oh.
number?
And she just did a comparative market analysis, and that was $225 a square foot just for the land purchase.
So how
So
much was
timesing that out.
total?
What was that?
So timesing that out would be 225 per square foot, and we're looking at,
What was it?
It was 11,700 times that. So 26,325
for the land purchase.
for the land purchase, but she also did say that was a starting point. The city is free to negotiate and even to negotiate above market value. If you want the land, it's just justifying it to the public why you're spending more money. Or an appraisal is not required. by
So
the
is
city.
that number again, 26,000
Yes,
is the starting point?
is a starting.
For just the
yes.
land.
Right, and so, and then the thing that Val sent over was
63,000.
63,000.
For just the land or?
Correct,
Okay.
just the land.
And so,
Based on the appraisal of the surrounding, yeah.
and
And
it's
actually
just for the
appraisal.
land purchase, so. for
And that
me-
was for WACOG purchase.
Yes.
So for me, that
correct,
seems to be
yes.
a big enough, just, discrepancy that's worth going out to an appraisal to see the value. I just don't, for me, I mean, yes, it's.
Yeah, we're not voting, I want to make clear,
Okay.
we're not voting on the money now.
We're just
If you
voting on the
vote
width
a
of the-
66-foot road, we will go and do all that kind of stuff. He will engineer it for a 66-foot road. And we will go get them all the appraisals and then the bid for the asphalt, whenever that comes in, end of this year, first next year, whenever that happens. But yeah, we would move forward with all that. I'm just throwing a rough figure out there.
Yeah.
That's all. I said it could be 80,000, it could be 150,000, at the end of the day. We don't really know. So the really decision is, what do you feel comfortable spending? I don't know.
We don't. know
Last
what-
time it was
what-
50,000, so,
So,
Well,
I don't know.
while we're
It's a
on,
tough decision.
I know what we're discussing right now, but while we're in the discussion portion, if somebody were, to Brad's comments, if somebody were to say, okay, you've been developed on both sides of you, and he's not a seasoned developer that's done this 100 times, what should we be telling him about his rights to his property right now? Should he be coming in with a development agreement? Should he be, what kind of
Brad?
guidance what kind of
Well,
guidance can the
I will
city?
meet with him,
Yeah.
go over what his problems are right now.
But what we're
Like,
voting on
where I
right
stand.
now, this
Would
this
affect
vote
that.
couldn't affect that. I understand that.
Well,
This vote
the
is
item is so particular, the way that it's
Yeah.
worded, that. is-
width of the road.
But the development agreement can be amended.
Yeah.
That was mentioned, we can.
Yeah.
It can be amended at
Yes,
this
but you
point.
would have to-
However, it would have to be an agreement between the developer and the city because it
Yes.
was approved. But in your motion, you said this particular section would be amended if it came back greater than 50,000.
And
That's why it's on the
so
agenda.
It would have to come up again for that amendment to include the adjacent property.
I'm just trying to give some guidance for,
Yeah,
what is the steps for somebody in Brad's position right now so is it meet with you, Mayor?
Yes.
See what
Yeah, I'll
they can
meet with
do?
him. Well, it's a tough situation and I can go with you too.
Yeah, I understand the
Yes.
nature of it.
So outside the box here, sorry, I'm almost done talking, but
No,
let's say we go 60-foot road. they put in the curb and gutter on both sides, right? If we were to purchase the other 6 feet, but not improve them at all, and then we could have that for a future, like, walking path or something like that. Is that something that we could consider?
You already have that in the
That's,
right of way.
that's
You
what
already,
we do.
you already have a sidewalk right of way. You could put that
We
in.
could do that at any time.
We'd have to pay for it, but we could put it in anytime.
Okay,
But we have a sidewalk. Why do we need a walking path?
Still say 60.
we're gonna do sidewalk both sides except for that one spot, right? Yeah.
Sidewalk's there,
And you
and
still
this
say
is-
66 feet though, and that's when we purchased the right of.
and this is
That's when
3
it
feet,
would be
3 feet on
different.
each side. And the road, I mean, I don't know, you're not gonna put all that in road, so I don't know, 32 feet. Tyson doesn't know exactly what that would be if we did a 66-foot road, what the asphalt would be, because I think that's really what we need. We have plenty of right of way for easement, or for the services, all the things, the infrastructure, the things that we need. It's just a matter of, do we want to spend whatever the amount is? I think it's gonna be over 100,000. We could say it might be 79. I don't know, how much is asphalt to go up?
Yeah.
3/4 of a mile.
Nobody
I
knows.
mean, it's 6, or, whatever that 2 feet or 1 foot is of asphalt. I don't know what that is. I just don't think that that's something we need or nor want to spend. I would love to spend that money somewhere else. That's the big thing, not in this subdivision, not in this development agreement. I just don't want to spend the money because I just don't think we need that there.
Sarah?
Tyson, how do you typically do this? What is the process when you go to do a subdivision and there's a portion that the city needs to do to purchase the right of way? How does it usually happen? Because we're talking about, buying the asphalt now versus the future. Tell us, what do you usually do when you do that?
So normally, that's where you get into more of those internal, more like a betterment. So most of the ones we've done, it was in joint. So, I mean, you come in and I know we debate widths for Parkland and Rulon for all the same reasons, and they had different layouts and options on what you could do inside of those. And so it kind of depends on what type of project or subdivision, I guess, with what I've experienced, so.
So when you're partnering on the road, how does it work though, when the city has to do a portion?
So they itemize it out, and so the engineering calculates the percentage and the expansion that the city's asking for to get Parkland, so it's broken down into a developer cost itemized. And then the city's portion for whatever falls inside of that additional.
And those costs are based on, they install the road basically, and we pay
Yep.
them to do it.
Their portion
Yeah.
on every single development.
No, on those that we do
Any
betterments
that you
on.
have to do, that you're asking for more than their development requires.
Okay,
Exactly.
and that's why we have a development.
Yeah,
So Rule and White, back when we put Rule and White in, we paid, the developer put that through, we paid an extra amount to have that wider, because we wanted to have extra parking from Rule and White over to Parkland. We paid that difference because we knew that would someday be a major come to the light, and that would be a collector through that
The
area.
difference was, I mean, the city paid it, but we paid it with a grant.
Yeah, and so, but we didn't
Yeah,
pay it,
contract,
it
yeah.
wasn't the contractor that put it in. In this particular,
Yeah.
they
They-
chugged
I mean-
with,
they did in the end,
well, but
the
we.
improvements.
Yeah, they put it in, but we paid.
But we
our
paid,
share.
but I mean, we had a road that was a standard. And we wanted more, and so they widened it and put that in the Shell station, and I think
It
on
was
the
more
other side.
deep than, I mean,
Yeah, it
I
was,
think we went with an 8-inch asphalt. instead of
It's
six-
12.
12-inch.
so we
For the
upgraded
heavy
that
truck.
road
Yeah.
because we wanted it something else, because we saw what we needed in that particular place.
Yeah.
And.
So
anyway.
that one, the city was getting ready to do the entire, so that's where your master plan and general plan come into play, is that's the tool you use. If you're going in and you don't have a willing, party to come through and we're gonna put this road in and it's for the greater good of the public, that's.
That was
where
one
that
of the very
comes in.
first things I addressed when I was first elected in 2017, was that road. We were preparing to go out to a bond for like $4.5 million. Instead, I asked them to apply for a WACOG grant, and we got the WACOG grant for that amount, so. There was enough because with the developer participation and everything that, not only did it do Rural and White, but is extending Parkland. The money that was left over, their WACOG is allowing us to betterment Parkland up into, where past the winery and all that industrial area. Don't know how far it will take us, but it will take us quite a ways. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna call the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 3-2. Item 6, recommendation of award. Discussion of possible action to award contracts to the recommended consultants for the property acquisition consultant pool. Andrea.
Okay, so the city put out an RFP for, to
Brad?
expand our acquisition pool.
Give me a call
Um,
so we can sit down.
The current consultants that we have on our list, we've lost a couple of them because they no longer do acquisition services. And one of the
Oh, I'm s-
acquisition agents moved from one firm to another firm, so we just kind of wanted to open it up and just bolster the agents that we had available for acquisitions. There are only certain agencies that are approved by UDOT, so anytime that we use WACOG funding, we have to use a specific list of those. So we just wanted to expand our choices on that. We did review, we had 2 submit, Keller Williams and Kimley Horn. We reviewed both of those and recommend that both of them be accepted to the acquisition pool.
Okay, questions? Not an entertained motion?
Take that motion.
Second that motion.
Motion by Gibson, second by Uri. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7, confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement. Discussion of possible action to consider approving a confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement with Rise Baking Company LLC. Andrea.
Rise Baking is looking at expanding their current facility, almost doubling in size to the rear of their current facility. They have submitted paperwork to try and establish a CRA or an RDA with the tax increment funding. They're not providing any proprietary information or anything. It's just in that application for the CRA and TIF. They would like the city to keep their financials disclosed or non-disclosure. So that's strictly what they're looking at is their financials on that.
There's a section added by our attorney.
Oh,
on
yes.
11.
Yeah, it was
Grandma.
reviewed by legal and section 11 was added, which basically states that that grandma trumps
Oh, gotcha.
anything included in the agreement. So if it is required for us to release that information through grandma, then we can go ahead and release that.
A lot of times we're sent checks to them or whatever, it gets put onto the state's book, it gets put on that transparency. There's no dot. So it would be out there.
Right.
I don't know how you keep it,
Yeah, I have
because I don't know how not to,
disclose it.
not get in trouble.
Most NDAs will say except for subject to mandatory disclosure by law, so I mean, if we're required by law to disclose the thing, it's not safe. Assuming it's this house.
Yeah,
Okay, Steve?
Is this part of the original RDA that was in that area? Was that not this property?
not this property. So there's the redevelopment agency. So if we go forward with this process, then we would have to establish a
Separate?
a whole
CRA.
new,
So the
it
original,
covers
the original RDA was not part of that
No.
property. It went into Parkland and through, so it
that's correct.
bypassed this, cause
So-
I thought that was part of the original RDA that. And when does that expire, that RDA?
It has
It has-
expired.
It has expired.
Yeah, so this would be creating a whole new area.
Looking at creating that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Section 11. Address.
What are they looking to get out of that for money wise? What, have they given any dollar amount or anything that?
No,
They've they submitted their application, but I was gonna ask whoever's on economic development to meet within the next week or so to go over that and just review what they've submitted. and see if it's something that they want to bring to
Because
council.
that is, and I know this is off the topic, but you know, those types of things are for infrastructure, for public infrastructure typically, for putting in roads and stuff. And that's more of a private thing, isn't it? I mean, how does that,
Yeah.
does that
It's
work?
gonna have to be worked through a lot, so.
because there wouldn't be putting any new roads for Pleasant View, correct?
No.
It would just be a private,
Yeah.
Correct.
All right.
so
Yeah.
we would share in that, okay.
So they have the right to submit the paperwork, and then that's why we review it and decide if it's something that we would want to move forward on.
So
This is just addressing.
Is this something that we can do then, as Laurie, if she says we can't honor this?
Well, the section 11, I think, covers it. Okay, which is, yeah, if it's mandatory through Utah government to disclose it, it will be disclosed.
It's not considered groundhog dog. I mean, I posted this, all of our
Yeah.
sales, all of our actual things for state every quarter. There's, I'm not taking it off.
Well, we could include something on that then.
On the motion.
So just so you know, this is identical to the one that Weber County passed. So Weber County has reviewed this as well and they've not saying that you should, but I mean, they feel comfortable with the contract. Section or paragraph 11 was in their agreement and not in
It
ours, and
says,
that's why.
or
people
otherwise
asked us.
required by law.
Yeah.
So it says Pleasant View City may disclose any
Yeah.
information of record to the extent required by grandma or otherwise required by law or a governing body. So I think
That covers us.
mandatory, yeah, I mean, we're required to post it. So.
And we wouldn't necessarily be disclosing their financial records that
Just-
they're submitting with
that'd be
CRA.
ours.
It would be, you know, yes.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we accept the confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement by Rise Bakery.
Second.
Okay, motion by Arrington, second by Nelson, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, all voting aye. We make it by 7:50. Item 8, this consolidated fee schedule, discussion possible action to amend the consolidated fee schedule to add PID fees from resolution 2025-K and amend the Northview Fire District impact fees, resolution 2025-L. Laurie.
Yeah, basically already approved these, on this kid. They were in that resolution that we adopted. We're just formally putting those now into the consolidated fee schedule. So the letter of intent for PID is 2,000, and the accounts receivable deposit is 3,500. And then Northview Fire has, changed their impact fees, and they're not our fee, but we're putting them on our schedule so people are aware of that.
Yeah.
So,
So it's their fees. We're not raising them. We're-
It's just a question.
Yep.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 2025-L consolidated fee schedule.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Arrington, second by Erie. Roll call vote, Arrington.
Yes.
Gibson.
Yes.
Marriott.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Erie.
Yes.
Motion carries, all voting yes. Item 9, pickup replacement discussion and possible consideration to purchase 5 pickup trucks not to exceed 54,000 each from Ken Garf and to surplus 6 pickup trucks. Dyson.
Yeah, hopefully everybody had a chance to read the packet. We're just looking to get back on track with pickups. We sort of got off the 3-year schedule that we were, the past plan. So we're just trying to get things back on track, and I don't know if anybody has any questions. And
I have one about the schedule. You say get back, are you trying to get back to a 3-year schedule or
so.
what kind of schedule should we be looking at now with these?
But we're going into that 5-year that's more applicable to the market now, and
Okay.
so. Doing a 3-year, it got into too many trucks, so the city would never get back on track, or Public Works, if we were trying to follow a 3 without spending more money than the departments they're looking to do.
Okay.
So currently that goal, yeah, is the 5-year for each. It's tracked on our spreadsheets with all our other equipment, and then trying to time it with the department and your other purchases, how many issues they're having.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, because I think we need to look at the criteria, not just age. certainly what's it costing to maintain? Problems we might be having. I mean, I know especially the F-150s, there were some certain years you do not want to buy. And that's pretty well known out there. A mileage, you know, because there's a couple on here that are still fairly low mileage, even though they're 6 years old. But, you know, they might have other, I know number 7, you told me, does have other issues.
Yeah, so
But-
number 7, and there's the one other, it's just gone it, they've already started going in for bigger items, and then when they fell outside of that 5-year, they were the ones scheduled for replacement.
What driving 3 years is that? Cause that was a lease agreement discussion before, right?
Public Works is only purchased outright.
Okay,
So every time we've looked at a lot of the leasing options and with staffing and the rotations to go out, so Caleb and I, we worked through some leasing options with Ken Garf and a couple of other, I think it's United, and there's one other group we at least met with and kind of got some numbers from that. No matter how you lay it out, all of a sudden there's a year that you're coming in here for $1 million and you're on the hook for it. But it just, if you were gonna keep on that 5 years, so even we asked for some 7-year spreads to push out, like even for the plows. So at some point, no matter what, you would fall back into a rotation, and that was just something that we didn't feel prepared to do, is set that up where. So this, for example, falling off the 3-year, I think it worked getting the fleet back out of that 20-year age or older when we first started. But when you got to the rotations and COVID hit, it never really laid out, because by then now your market had changed so much, it never worked for the rotation out.
Yeah.
And that's the reference to continue and to evaluate. I know there's a new group that's recently reached out, and they have some options, and they all have amazing tools, and you can break it down as deep as you want if you have the staffing body to support updating. So
Yeah,
Caleb,
it's really interesting. Okay. North Ogden City does their fleet exactly opposite of us. They replace their public works vehicles every single year, and they've outright buy their police vehicles. I don't know,
Is there an advantage to doing?
well, we met with them, and that's me and Amy back in the day met with them when we started talking about these fleet options and changing the fleet options, and asked them why they're doing, and it's just like, well, I don't know, it's just what works for us. So.
when the rotation always came, that's even pushing the 3 and 5 year, because they talked about that back then as the 1 year, and it was
Yeah,
the big rage, and it's.
but they do have
We-
like a fleet manager. I mean,
Yes.
they have somebody that just takes care of all, just that. I mean, it's.
So if you're rotating out equipment
Yeah.
and updates and making sure all your
I
tools
like the
swapped
way we
every
do it.
year, it would be overwhelming. And so I've always argued against it just from a staffing standpoint. That's the paperwork that goes into Laurie, Heather, I mean, that trickled down for all of those processes.
Yeah, that,
and
it was a
bigger
good
than-
process when the market was better, you know, back when, we did it at the fire department every year. And then we changed to a 3-year. Now they're buying them outright, and.
You could about do it and drive the truck for 3, and the argument was you'd pay $1,000 and get out of there before you change the tires
Yeah.
out, but by the time you got back to your next 3-year rotation, that market had changed so
Steve.
much it didn't work.
Go ahead, Steve.
On your surplus value that you have listed here, where did you get that number from? And what's our expected?
It's
There's
just
the
the blue book, so
value as what's our mechanism for putting that out? Is it gonna be a bid situation, a closed bid? Is it we're gonna put them to
Yeah,
a
So-
market to sell them in like an auction place, or, I mean?
yeah, and I don't know if so this one we're asking to do it in-house, talking to the mayor and how they have done it at the fire is, and I don't know if we'll try all 6 at once. It depends on, so we're asking to just not do the surplus until we've taken ownership of the new trucks. And that's another benefit of buying them outright is you have that flexibility. But it's basically a reverse public auction. So you set a date, this is when it's closed, sealed bids due X date. You establish your lowest, the minimum that you're willing to accept for it and then take the highest offer.
So for
essentially.
example,
That's it.
car number 3, 2019 Ford F-250, 36,000 miles. You know, estimated Blue Book value $29,000. I don't know. I know trucks are very expensive, but realistically, are we gonna get 15 out of it? I mean.
Oh, I think you'll get a.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just. kind of
Well,
tossing
I
it
don't
out
think
there.
we'd set a minimum and not go below that.
Because,
Yeah.
because if that's the case, you know, a 6-year-old truck, $29,000 and we're replacing it with 53, then we're really only putting, you know, $24,000 into that new truck that will hopefully get us 5 years. I don't mind that. But if, you know, what's another, like the 18, you know, 43,000 miles, 24,000, those are good numbers, but I don't know what that's based on. You know, we want to have, I don't know, I just,
They're based on the,
the Blue Book, and
Yeah.
you know, what's expected. I don't know if we.
So,
And it's just for, that's for
Referencing it.
reference, so
And
it's
for something on this to make it look good, I get that,
revenue low, budget high.
yeah. Anyway, I just,
so the mayor mentioned that, you know, you set the bottom price, and if it doesn't hit, you can take it to a state auction or.
Yeah.
We get another wave.
Cause historically, we've even sent them to TNT. Sometimes we tried trading them in the one year when we were trying to do that rotate in and out, but most of those, original ones we took to auction because trying to have the manpower to manage sort of a auction essentially.
one other quick question too, the equipment to make this into a public works, lights and everything, is that all included? I mean, I'm looking here, tow package, you know,
Yeah, and this
spray
one,
bed liner, I mean, those types of things. Is there gonna be equipment, the amber light, the different things in the?
yeah, so the quotes in the packet, that's what we're shooting for. That's the quote with lighting, and it just seems like floor mats came up one year, seat covers, because they don't transfer. So that's the only reason we asked for the up to is just to ensure that I'm not breaking the purchase and you understand that there's some items inside of that difference. But our goal is
I
always
mean,
to be.
with the police
What
officer
was possible.
car, there's a, you know,
There's a significant
10,000, whatever it was the cost of the truck plus
15.
15,000.
No, our
18,000, so, and I
Our
know,
light
and I
bars.
know the public works isn't gonna be that, but are you gonna come back and ask for
Not
another
the-
$5,000 on top for each car?
No,
Or each
not
truck?
with the up to the 54, we won't come back. Cause that'll cover anything we would need. Our light bars are in the several hundred range and
Okay,
we wire them ourselves. We might have some seat covers. Most of the equipment, we just transfer over our physical tools. We'll transfer over. Sometimes your toolboxes don't fit depending on what they've changed. So that's the dropping 3 now is, and getting rid of the extra, the 6 truck number 13, is that's our diesel truck. That's our transport tank, and where it doesn't fit in the newer Ford, so we're gonna upsize that one and get the longer bed so the our diesel tank can fit inside of it, and we'll reduce the weight.
So you have on there, you have two F-250s, they're bigger trucks. Is there no need for a bigger truck in the new ones or?
No, so that's been part of the plan, trying to get into the equipment that's right for the job you're using it. As we've grown, that was, you know, the reason for the loader versus just keep getting more and more backhoes as you're trying to use a utility knife for something that there's a specialty tool, and so that's part of that efficiency goal. It's having the equipment, so we've purchased CVs and we have 2 1-tons. We're looking at phasing out when possible, and all of our trailers and equipment, you need CVs or dump trucks anyway, so there's no reason to roll around in 250s unless they're cheaper.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Is there not a spreadsheet that you're tracking everything with? I mean, I, I'd like to see all of the vehicles. And,
Yes,
and what
the-
their expected life is,
Sure.
what our long-term plan is, because we can go here and we can say, yeah, you're gonna turn these around, but if we waited a year, what would that benefit be to us? If we did them a year earlier, what would that benefit be to us? Right now, you're saying 3 years, right?
No, 5 years.
5.
Well, okay, 5 years.
It used to be,
Yeah.
we picked it to 5.
Yeah, and the average of these is, I mean, you've got a
Six.
9 year, 6 year, yeah, probably 6 is probably average. Okay.
Do they come with a warranty for a certain amount of time? Is it miles or years, or what does that look like?
Yeah, and that's part of it is, trying to keep in those drivetrain warranties. I don't have it right off the top of my head.
They usually do up to a certain time.
It's 36 probably still, right? It's a normal
Yeah,
warranty,
it's-
normal
They're-
port
you
warranty.
don't get any.
I think the
special
drivetrain, I think, is more like 5 and 70 or something like that.
1,000.
Yeah, for the
Whatever comes
drivetrain.
first type thing, yeah.
Yeah. Mayor, I'd like to make a.
Okay.
Does anybody else?
Go ahead.
Okay, make a motion to approve the purchase of 5 pickup trucks not to exceed 54,000 each from Ken Garf, and to sell us 6 pickup trucks.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion. I would like to, I don't know how we ought to set a minimum on these on the sale price.
Yeah, it's surplus them and say this is the minimum, and then if they don't sell for that, come back with a plan or something.
Yeah, I
So
think
minimum on the chart.
minimum on this chart.
Okay, want me to amend my
If we
motion?
think that is, I mean, that's their estimated blue book value. We shouldn't say we're gonna reduce that by 30%.
No,
right?
yeah, I think that's
I mean,
that's where we start. Hopefully we'll get
Okay,
bids higher than that. Steve?
Well, then they can make the motion. I just want, I know we have budget for new trucks. Do we have, I can't remember having a budget this many. Is this dollar amount in the?
yeah, we-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's divided amongst the funds listed at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, I see that. I can't remember if that,
That's, yeah.
and I know they're coming from different.
It does make it a little tricky, and I think that's why a spreadsheet like Dave suggested, kind of like the police did this last time, would be really handy, because when we look at it at budget time, you know, you see a truck here and a truck there, and, you know, it's just a little hard to, yeah.
or even to have it on an Excel or something like
Yeah.
that, where you
Just
just easy
bringing
access
the-
to it.
Excel sheet.
Yeah, or even share the document, you know, digitally.
And
so.
it needs to include a lot of information, because there's a lot that goes into this. I mean, you know, what year, what's used for, you know, estimated. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into why we wanted to.
Yeah, and
upgrade
part
this.
of it's in the iWorks system. That's, so like it's a combination of your iWorks fleet tracker. So any maintenance down to a wiper blade, oil change, all that number is tracked in iWorks for us.
By
so-
vehicle, right?
Yes, it's broken down to vehicle, and
So
so some of it.
you could go to each one of these
Caleb was
vehicles right
working
now.
on.
In iWorks, you could go to each one of these vehicles and we could find out what we've spent on that in the
Yes.
last, since we've owned it.
Yes, the older ones that gets, cause it's, there's 2 different mechanic eras working in there, and so you kinda had to start over, so it's not perfect,
Yeah.
but Caleb's cleaned it up a ton, working through it. That's been our goal, is anything that we do to a truck is in there. Tires, windshield replacements, even if it's serviced somewhere else for the bigger tranny or code, whatever we spend is in our iWork fleet tracker.
That's good. That's good information.
So
Do
it's
I
kind of a combination.
Do I need to amend my motion
I-
or just take note of what Dave said?
Well,
Do you want to amend that motion to add the minimum?
Yes, to not to sell below the minimum that's on the chart.
Second, okay with that?
Yes.
Probably, since it was yours.
Yes.
Okay, so motion by Yuri, second by Marriott. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries, all voting aye. Item ten is dump truck replacement discussion, possible consideration to purchase an international HV 507 dump truck and equipment not to exceed 360,000 from Rush, the chassis and Reading, seating, body and plow, and to surplus one plow truck. Tyson Jackson, and before Steve gets to ask, I'm just gonna say, is this already sitting up in the?
Like that
That
back
horse
hook?
sunk it,
Go ahead, Tyson.
Tied everything.
Sorry.
I saw it driving around
just-
this year. I don't know.
Is it here?
Oh,
No.
no, it's not. It's at the dealer. It's not physically here. So these plows getting ever more complicated. I just want to start off. The recommendation would be the not to exceed to purchase the cabin chassis that is at Rush. But the body and plow equipment as quoted, there were some items we've been working through and trying to get it on. Cause they're having issues holding that cabin chassis. That was the main goal, and this quote wouldn't be exactly how we were doing it. They left on a dump bed. We tried working through them to get it removed. So if we have an up to with the cabin chassis approved to Rush Truck Center, and then we'll have to go and work through with the body companies, either with Reading or even potentially a different body company that has the state.
No, she got it. She got it.
What is the purpose of this vehicle? What's it gonna do? Is it a dump truck or is it?
No,
just
so-
plowing or what?
This is moving into replacing that, the Max. So we did the hook beds to sort of check that functionality on, can we utilize them for other services? We didn't get into a lot of that, but they essentially they saved us through those two biggest winters, but they're not, that one isn't gonna hold up. It's spent most of last year in the shop. They just.
Yeah, that was
they
the one that was
roughed it out.
down. Lamb.
Yep, it pretty
This-
much lived in that South Bay, and the other one seems to be holding up better because those were those two auction purchases. So
Is-
this is the.
Is there
first-
only specific roads that it goes on? Cause this is a big one, right? This is,
Yeah, so this is getting back to a dedicated plow though.
Has a wing and all that.
This one does not
Not
have a
have the wing.
wing because we couldn't make it work under the 360,000.
Just kind of a gee whiz. You look at that price and you go gee whiz, but
Yeah.
you know, 2017 purchased a fire truck for 581,000. They've just ordered a replacement because it's going to be 4 years out before they can get it built. And it was 1.2 million. You used to buy a ladder truck for 1.2 million and now they're like 2.2 million. We bought an ambulance. The last one I drove back and it was about 4 years ago. It was 185,000. No, it was 2021. I got, yeah, it was 4 years ago. Drove it back. It was 185,000. And they've ordered a replacement for the one that's now 12 years old. And it's like 387,000. It's just, and they're like 18 months out. So the cost of heavy equipment is just gone insane.
So we probably won't take the full bill till spring if we're lucky. They,
Sorry, the last plow that we bought, it seems like was even more, wasn't it?
the one before the last, but that was because it was a 10-wheeler, so that's what we used
So
for
was it
hauling and
like a half
our
million
little,
dollars?
yes, our little pups you were wasting more time using them as dump trucks than anything. So that's the move into a more dedicated plow, because that's really what we use them for. The hook bed option gives you versatility for movement when the public works yard is
Thanks, Paul.
up and active, if you wanted to move into other amenities or services.
Have we looked
Dan?
at,
Yeah, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Uh,
No, no,
I was
Dan.
gonna make a motion, but go ahead.
oh, I don't know, I just, this stuff, well, I'm intrigued by it all the time, because what, is there a better method? For what, than what we're doing? And can you buy a tractor that does, like, cul-de-sacs and things like that, and the one that's faster, I mean, what options are out there for us if we're just buying a plow? I mean,
So that's why the plow fleet is a variety of sizes. So everything from the CVs that are a little bit bigger, because if you get down into the 1 tons, you have a average storm and you can't even push a cul-de-sac in the height. So we went up a step higher. So the CVs generally focus on cul-de-sac. There's some sort of smaller mid-range of the medium duty dump truck that you sort of focus on your mids, but then are bigger the wings. So this does have a longer front blade, just not a wing. But most of the wing, the 10-wheeler and this dedicated plow, you try to focus out on Route 1, 2, 3, and 4, which are 5, 9,
major.
1100 PD drive.
Yeah.
Prepping for,
So that's why we have a
Move
variety
on.
of different. plows.
yeah.
So
we,
if,
we try to break them up with the
if we
routes.
buy this, will we have snow this year? That's what I wanna, or
I
if we
hope so.
buy it, it won't come? I mean, what's our plan
All
here?
right.
Mayor said this one's dedicated just.
Okay, well,
Here, I'll make a motion that we purchase dump truck replacement, from Rush and Reading Truck, not to exceed the amount of $360,000.
And to.
And to surplus,
Yeah, the last line on the.
One.
as written in item 10 on the
Awesome.
agenda.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Arrington, second by Erie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, all voting aye. Okay, item 11, award striping bid.
You're on a roll, Tyson.
Discussion and possible consideration to award the bid for street striping services in the amount of $43,619.60 to Road Safe. Tyson, now, he told me this would take 30 seconds, so I'm done.
Yes, this is a maintenance item. It's your crosswalks, all your striping, to get these guys moving and, get crosswalks updated and anybody has questions, it's under budget.
When will they start?
The goal is,
Does it
gonna
say?
get on their list as soon as we get out of here.
Like the first week of school?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the striping bid as stated in item number 11.
I'll second the motion. By Gibson, second by Marriott, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, all voting aye. Item 12, approved bulk service meter purchase. Discussion, possible consideration to approve purchase auto read meter equipment in the amount of $286,083.20 from Hydro Specialties. Tyson. I think he's spent
So-
over $1 million this tonight.
Yeah.
Well, well.
Oh, everybody's doing great and we're getting stuff done and I'm glad to see a lot of these moving. This one started many years ago and we've had that smaller budgeted amount because staffing couldn't do much more than what that amount covered, and Mike put this together and they've got together as a group and think they could meet it and hit one of their conservation goals to get all the auto read up and running, and so we're pretty excited. And
Does this finish it out then?
that's what this would do, yes. So we just do the one lump order. We've made some adjustments, have some room to store it now. That was always a problem in the past. We're just gonna get them here and then there's spare time with Jason when he's done reading meters that are left, and then they're working through swapping out.
Mayor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
You know, this 10 years? I mean, how long have we been doing this? 8 years with the meter?
It was right around 2017,
I think
18.
it's like one of the very first things I done.
Is this gonna be out of date sometime, or is this upgradable? Is it something that we're going to be able to have for the next 20 years, or, I mean, what is?
What's the life?
So you-
What is the life expectancy? I know, we have the readers and we, have the infrastructure in to do that, but
So-
are these,
You have a service warranty, so that's the HRE and the LTE. I don't know all the
well,
technical
I mean,
terms.
my iPad, I just bought this and it's already out of date. And I know that's apples and oranges, but we're gonna finish it out and then you're gonna come to us 2 years from now and say, well, we gotta upgrade everything because it's all, doesn't work anymore.
No, and so your newer, they're bought in for the service to a certain warranty amount that if your providers dropped that type of service, like there's some requirement for them to make sure your equipment works. So it's, cause it's different data. It's how do they put it? Computer to computer. So it's not like your 5G need where you're streaming or it's a computer data.
So this system, we're confident it's gonna be good for the next 10, 15 years. I mean, what, is there?
Well,
did
when
they-
it
did
comes
they
to
upgrade?
IT type stuff, I never say anything past 5, but
But I don't
that don't
understand how it
mean,
works.
especially for a utility thing like this where you're not doing anything except transferring that thing, I
Yes,
think it's,
data.
I think probably good for 10 to 15 years.
Right.
yeah.
And I don't, you're not quoting me, I know that.
Yeah, and it has its issues, but if you got to the end, so this meeting, that conservation goal, getting that system, it has been functioning. They did do an update. Part of what Verizon was doing a few years back, triggered some of that as well. So we haven't had issues. I know there's a handful, once you get up on the bench, if you know cell phones, the data's splotchy up there and,
I think we all get arrested in 20 minutes if we're not done with this meeting. Is
Yeah,
that what
no, I
happens?
understand.
The
Oh.
meter reader guy, Jason said.
Okay,
Gotta be
10
done
minutes.
by 7:50.
30 seconds, Mayor. Have we, and I don't want this today, but I'd love to have you report back in the next 1 or 2 weeks or meetings, just to say what we've been able to save by doing this, identifying leaking meters or
Yeah.
something like that. I'd like to have, and again, not today, we don't want to waste any more time. I'm now down to 15 seconds, but I would like to, 10, I'd like to
Fine.
have that, just let us, update us
Well, it'd
on.
be nice to put out to the public. so
Yeah, say, okay, we've changed over, we've been able to
Doesn't-
identify
I
this
did it.
quickly, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because, through the winter, we used to not be able to read the
accurate.
meters for 6
Yeah.
months.
Do we have to purchase them all right now? We're gonna use 850 of them. They're just gonna sit here for.
They've been purchasing them over.
Well, you want to do a bulk purchase to get it.
yeah,
Right.
yes, we're asking to do a bulk to get it done is the goal.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the bulk service meter purchase as listed in item 12 on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Arrington, second by Gibson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At least 3 voting. Okay. Okay, all voting aye. Okay, yeah, well, I'm not gonna go around the room, but if you have other business that you just dying to, in the essence of time.
Thank you for your support. Oh,
Chief
sorry.
has something.
Going first.
Just, school starts next week, a week from today, so as you talk to your friends and neighbors and people,
It
let's make
starts
it
on
pretty-
Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Will you please hit those crosswalks? And
Yes,
with
I need to talk to you about
no,
that too.
there's no excuse for speeding through or not stopping at crosswalks.
There's supposed to be an armed guardian at every single school this year.
Yeah.
I do have an item. We want to do a ribbon cutting ceremony for the pickleball courts.
Is
So
that next year, April?
No, have you?
I am suggesting Thursday, September 11th, but I don't know how that
Oh.
works with the,
9/11.
Not-
9/11, I love it.
or we can do Friday the
That-
12th, we have to do it at 5 o'clock
Oh, it has to be 5 p.m.
on Friday.
Oh, but Thursday we could do it.
But
anytime.
Thursday we could do it anytime.
I don't wanna do 5 p.m. I can't do 5 p.m.
Okay.
I'm good for 9/11. I love it.
What time?
Cool, yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's 9/11.
All right.
that's right.
What time?
It's a wonderful thing.
So we're celebrating.
Okay.
At least it's not next
You'll
year.
push something out?
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just
Cool.
want to get the date locked in first.
What is it? What time?
So what do you guys want to do?
Are they ready to open?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna be ready like.
By when?
by 9/11.
9/10?
Yeah.
Have you guys?
The inspector just did.
And I think we should play a game, like,
Yes.
mhm,
They're
so
starting
come
to
in your
sit
shorts.
Can I be on your team?
Sure.
Pickleball.
We might lose though,
So let's see.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a time?
not because of you.
I'm sorry. Missed the time.
Yeah.
Let's do, how about 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
We do 2 o'clock? What
On
do you want?
Friday?
Two or
I'm
three.
just throwing a time out.
Thursday,
What's better, 2 or 3?
either one's fine.
Well,
Well, school
school,
will be back
whatever.
in.
Later the better.
That's a Tuesday.
Is this a Tuesday?
No, this.
That's a Thursday.
That's a Thursday.
So we should be good.
3 o'clock.
2?
3
well,
o'clock.
3:05,
3 o'clock.
3, will that be heavy traffic?
Yes, well, you'll have, school gets out.
But we're a couple blocks away. We're
But-
not, but it's not New York City or
But
Houston.
none of,
It's
none
traffic
of
jam.
schools cross
Okay.
Pleasant Drive,
Okay.
so.
Let's do
3
that.
o'clock. Let's do 3.
3 o'clock,
Be written. Let it be
Will there
written, let it be
will there be
done.
enough parking for everybody?
it's striped.
Okay, anybody other?
I
I'm
have,
trying really hard.
we're having a website meeting still on tomorrow, right? So it's a website reveal to this
Doesn't
council,
happen fast
so
enough.
just want to make sure. Well, it was supposed to be, I'm not sure if the meeting, the Monday got moved.
Well,
that-
They had
They
training
went to
today.
Wednesday, and then today we had some training.
Yeah.
Today you did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
It's a Christmas
Staff had training.
miracle.
okay. Get invited to that.
Okay,
I was
what time?
surprised, so.
10?
We have
Say 3 or
Closed
I
meeting.
didn't.
3.
I was like, what? I want
We
to see
don't?
it.
Okay,
I do.
Stuff in
Not
from
that I'm
another
aware of.
meeting. They're what's going on. Training.
let's have one.
Anybody else? Dyson, did you say you had something?
Was just saying thank you and, yeah, staff's been amazing. There's a lot going on. We'll try to keep up with projects and contractors and make it as smooth as we can with what we have. So thank you.
Closed meeting? Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Look at there, 7:44, Lauren.
Can we dedicate the Ann Arrington